That was good.
So we could call it found?
What I really liked about Lost is it really set up like a good mystery to begin with, and you were like, oh my gosh. It's just it really degraded over time.
Yeah, alright. I don't know. I never watched it.
Oh, are you live?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay.
So, anyway.
Although don't ruin Lost for people who don't know about it.
Okay, no. It's been 12 years. Watch it or don't.
Welcome back. Nobody?
Huh?
So welcome back. Nobody?
Welcome back soon to be everyone.
That's right.
Oh, I'm watching something.
I just see one person on YouTube. Hello, YouTuber. Unless that's me, in which case hello to myself.
It's probably you. I'm not watching anything right now.
Let's see. We are on day 3 of the Goblin Heads, finally. It was a very frustrating Wednesday night, really. Jacked up everything that I was fighting for. Alright. So, let's get cracking. Ah, now I have 3 viewers and a like. There we go.
Reality TV can be so spicy.
Oh my.
Spicy drama. I'm watching a show. I don't even watch Ink Master, and I'm just roped in. It's called Ink Master Tattoos That Didn't Heal Well.
Oh.
So, the premise, I don't watch the show, but I've seen enough of the tidbits to understand. The premise of Ink Master is almost like how with Project Runway you're given like that you have to make an outfit for someone. Usually it's a model, but you're given the criteria that you have to stay in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have some creative license, but like these are the themes that it has to stay in. So with Ink Master, it's tattoos.
Right.
And their canvas is a human person who has like volunteered to do this. So if these people screw up this tattoo, not only could they get voted off the show, but they also could ruin the person's tattoo and skin and all this stuff. So I guess this one guy was supposed to, I didn't realize that tattoos use different needles for different parts. It makes sense hearing it now, but like you have a liner needle, I guess, to like do your outlines, and then you have shading, which I'm assuming is a thinner, smaller gauge of needle. So
I think shading is like super fat because it's like you're doing, or maybe that's specifically for colors.
So basically, he said someone sabotaged him. He did her entire tattoo with one kind of needle, which is a liner needle, and her arm was damaged. It ended up scarring. The ink didn't stay.
How did they?
It didn't heal for over a month.
Wait, how did someone sabotage him, like, in the show?
That's what he said, yeah. He said somebody went to his station and took, like, his shading needle away, so he did her entire arm, her whole upper bicep from her shoulder
with a
all
thin
the way
needle
down to her arm with, like, one, like, thicker needle.
Huh.
And she said it was so painful, like, it wouldn't heal, and it made her really mad, and he, like, straight up did not apologize. And he did not, like, let her know, from what I can tell, that he would be using the wrong needle. He just literally went ahead and did it. And then she comes to him and she's like, you like ruined my arm. I had to get it the whole thing reworked over by another artist to try to fix it. And he just sat there like not apologizing. I'm like, loser.
Is that like a one-off then, or is this a bunch of stories of those?
No, it's 40 minutes, so I'm thinking it's multiple people. There's another girl, and I saw a snippet of hers. I only watched like 5 to 7 minutes or something. But it was supposed to be biomechanical, and her canvas, her person is like telling her what he wants, and she's basically just being ridiculously rude. And she's like, what you're wanting is not biomechanical, and you're gonna get me like kicked off if I do it. And so she ultimately told him, like, eventually just stopped letting him talk, period. Told him no, and then tattooed herself.
Tattooed herself?
Yeah. And so when they came and brought the guy back, he's like, I was trying to like understand, like, but also get my own tattoo of like what I wanted. And yeah, I'm just like, ooh, that girl is rude.
So, working on my Nurgle head design. We can keep the Dynamesh low for now because it's not super imperative. I didn't design anything really yet. Not sure why that seems uneven, because I have symmetry on. Oh wait, wrong direction? So, it doesn't seem like, I don't know, I guess they could just kind of make him fat and ugly. Because that's just kind of what I'm going to aim for. That or
I mean, I will say, looking at her arm, they showed the tattoo from what it looked like right after she finished to what it looks like now, and it does look really bad now. Like, when it was first done, it looked really good, but it's a totally different color, so she must have had to have somebody go in with a completely different color. Originally, it almost had like a wood grain finish to it, and now it's just purple. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I definitely feel like it is not on his side. I really think he did screw her tattoo up. This is why I'm too afraid to ever get a tattoo. What happens if they screw up and I just have to live with it forever?
right.
And sometimes you don't know until later that it's like really bad. Like, there have been so many people who got tattoos and it looked great and then like 3 or 4 weeks later, like, color is starting to fade and disappear, and like things just don't look as good, and I'm just so worried that would happen.
Okay. Yeah, that might work there. Right now he just looks cutesy for some reason, so I'm doing a pitiful job, I guess. I need more creepy aspects to it. Okay. Alright. We're figuring it out. We're getting there. So it's going to be a lot more appending of items than I usually do. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn off symmetry. Shut up.
Oof. And he said the words that everybody thinks that everyone needs to hear their opinion. Nobody else has the guts to say it. I have to be the one to say it. I'm the only one who's going to tell the truth. I'm the only honest one. I'm like, no.
Muppet Skull. I will give you that. Is what it's like right now. Yeah, people you gotta learn.
Well, everyone who says that, everyone who ever says that, is making the excuse for their behavior of being lazy. Being lazy and refusing to learn to deal with people in a better way and communicate in a better way. I just say what needs to be said, and people don't like hearing the truth. It's like, well, you can say the truth and not hurt people's feelings. You can convey yourself effectively and not be rude. So it's literally, it's just laziness. When you sit there and say, I'll just say what needs to be said.
Yeah, alright. Hey Blake, how's it going? Just you didn't respect her back, it seems like.
What'd you say, Hubs?
He said she's not respecting me. I'm like, sounds like you didn't respect her first.
I know, he started yelling and saying that tattoo artists are selfish and like that's just part of it, and basically like you should just get over it because this is just how I am. And it's like, again, this is that thing where it's like when someone's a customer and your plan is like that you're trying to like be, you know, what's the word?
Make
you
money?
You want to be gracious.
Oh.
Still, like, even if you are good at something and people will come to you, like, that's always been a pet peeve of mine. It's like someone's really, really good at something, and so they're like, I'm going to have to be gracious because I know that people are going to come anyway. So basically, he's like, I know I'm a good tattoo artist, and I don't have to be kind because people are going to come to me anyways. That's why I'm on Ink Master. Like, I'm so good. So basically, everything you're saying is wrong. And I'm just like, I see it a lot in the chef world too. Like, they just say the same thing. Like, I can basically act and do and say whatever I want because I know I'm talented enough to get away with it. I'm like, that is just shameful.
I still got one more shift and then my day off.
Hi, Pooch. What's up?
Or not day off, but week off. No, 2 days off. Sheesh.
Oh, my tummy is so full today. I feel like I ate 100 things. Was yours full too? Dinner was yummy.
Nah,
Oh,
not the
sure.
one Mommy's currently
No,
watching.
I'll watch something else. Let's find something on YouTube.
Or we could do Mad Libs again.
Ooh, Mad Libs, Mad Libs.
You want to do Mad Libs? Okay, let's do Mad Libs.
Well, we can't do both.
We can do Mad Libs.
He means to watch a video, I think.
Yeah, I can't do Mad Libs and watch a video at the same time. Oof, are you cold? I'm cold. I know. Sometimes our air conditioner works so good, and sometimes it's so weird.
Sometimes it was so good that it's not good right now.
I know, but then other times, like the other day, it was like not that good, and I was.
So this is like a
cold.
hairbrush, but at the same time, I
It's
think
so
if I
fun.
use it more, if I can kind of
Now it's working.
get some creepy texture here.
Ooh, okay, we're gonna do one called Encounter with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Alright, give me a noun. That's right.
Batman.
Batman.
You said baby.
Yeah. Alright, does anybody want to come up with a place?
Oh, Blake said fight for now. You have a place, Blake?
I do. Oh, Daddy said baby.
Blake, yeah.
What's the baby?
It's a person on his live that he's got watching.
Okay. I was thinking, Silver Dollar City.
It's not. It's not
Silver
like
Dollar City is the one to beat.
he said Pluto.
Ooh, let's go Pluto.
What's Pluto?
Pluto, the planet.
That they try to ignore.
That's okay. You can pick a part of the body. Good, honey.
No, it's not good.
It's not gonna be sanitary.
To tell her?
Do you mean appropriate?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not sanitary.
Okay, tell me. What? No, pick a different one. Pick it like a butt cheek. You can do.
What was it called again? No, I don't
The ha-ha trickleophagus. You wanna do that one?
Ugh.
Okay, I need another noun.
You wanna do
Your turn.
fight?
Yeah, I'll do fight now.
Fight?
Oh wait, that's
That might be an
that's
action.
yeah.
Meat
I
fall
actually
goblin.
have a verb coming up, so I can use it for that fighting.
Okay, there you go.
Let's do.
Turtleneck sweater.
Hang on. Alright, so we'll do fighting for the noun, or,
How did you know it
just
was?
kidding, it's an adjective.
How did you know it was gonna be a verb?
I thought it was gonna be a verb because it looked like it showed it, but I guess I was wrong.
It was an adjective.
Oh,
Adjectives
I think
not-
I'm right here, maybe is where I am. Okay, I was wrong. So it's actually an adjective. So any
Greasy.
describing word. Greasy? Oh, another adjective.
Okay. Smelly.
Okay.
Is that one?
It is. How about super smelly?
Super smelly.
Yeah.
How about crazy smelly?
Crazy smelly? Okay. the body plural. We'll give it to the internet.
Part of the body plural. Anyone?
Nostrils. Inner ears. Uvulas.
Ultraman? Ultramen. Oh wait, sorry, that's not a part of the body. I was thinking of noun, sorry. My bad.
Give him a second. Part of the body plural. Kneecaps. Big hairy toes. Hairy big toes. Butt cheeks.
Belly buttons.
Belly buttons. Alright, I need another adjective. Like. Let's see. Let's do slime covered. Alright. Oh, I need another adjective.
Oh, man, there's so many adjectives.
Alright, did he say anything?
No.
Has he listed any adjectives in there? I could do ultra manly.
Muppet.
Huh?
What?
Muppet.
That's not an adjective.
Muppet-like complexion.
Not ultra manly?
No, I like
Okay,
Muppet-like
Muppet-like
complexion.
is pretty good. Muppet-esque?
Muppet-esque.
Okay, I need a type of food.
Oh, he's like courageous. We can do that later. Type of food.
Ramen
Ew. Okay.
Alright. Type, verb ending in ing.
Fighting. Or did you already do that one
I
yet?
have not gotten to do that one yet. Animal.
Is it my turn or
Sure, yeah. You can do it. What? Two-butted goat.
Demon of Azeroth.
Alright, I need another part of the body plural.
What's a durian? Oh, that's an animal.
That's a fruit.
It's
A
a fruit?
durian's a fruit.
Oh.
You sure?
Yeah, it's a big fruit and it smells bad like stinky socks.
Kiwi is what he now said. Kiwi. Did you ask for food? Oh, he's probably doing food because that's
Oh, yep, we were saying type of food. Okay, now we need a part of the body, plural.
plural part of the body.
Livers. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I'm just giving you an option. You say anything now?
Not yet.
Okay. It could also be a part of something else's body, like camel. It could do
Toes?
humps.
Lumps.
Yeah. Trunks. Beaks.
Talons.
Talons.
Tongue.
Tongues. Alright, verb ending in ing. Did he already give a verb at any point?
Oh, we did fighting at that
Fighting. Okay, you want to do a verb? Okay. So that's like
Running.
Running.
Oh wait, no wait, I have a better one.
Sorry. Alright, a celebrity.
Like a host on a show.
Yep. Something like that. Like a host on a show.
Mike Tyson.
Oh, Grayson, Daddy beat you. He said Mike Tyson. Alright, I need another noun.
Superman.
You already got Batman. You're gonna make it a Batman versus Superman versus Bigfoot?
How much is Zbrush? If you wanted to buy it outright, it's $849. Otherwise, there's
Monthly.
monthly for $40 a month. Scott McNeil.
Oh, wait, I got it.
Gotta catch up, Blake.
Can Blake give a noun?
Can you give it down, Blake? Godzilla.
Nice.
Godzilla.
That might be a celebrity.
Alright, I'm gonna give a type of liquid.
P.
Vampire blood.
They don't have blood.
I know. Alright, and now I'm gonna pull his type of food. We'll do a durian.
A stinky chocolate.
Alright, you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alright, encounter with Bigfoot. Before they vanished, a well-trained Batman of explorers sent an SOS from the snowy peaks of Pluto, claiming to have spotted Big Ha-Ha Chuckleophagus. This is what their hairy, stinky dinosaur said. Oh my gosh, he's real. I'm looking at Greasy Foot right now.
Oh! Wacom pen tablet is what I used to sculpt with.
And he's crazy smelly. I've never seen such human belly buttons on a creature so slime covered.
Ew.
At first, he looked as Muppet-esque as we all were. But as we approached, he became cool as ramen noodles,
Ew.
silently fighting us. What's the matter? I said. Two-butted goat got your tongue?
Weird.
But we couldn't believe our tongues. He actually spoke. Now the creature won't stop running on and on about Mike Tyson and Godzilla-flavored vampire blood.
Ew.
Help! Someone make this beast shut his durian hole.
Stop talking about Mike Tyson and Godzilla flavored vampire blood. Oh man.
That's the funniest. Remember the time where we went Ohio? Was that the Western one?
Yeah, I'm sure I have them saved somewhere.
So, Mike, this is the pen tablet that well, more or less, I got an older one at this point, so, yeah, here we are. They're kind of expensive, though. You don't just buy them just to buy them.
That was fun.
It's a good investment, though, for sure.
It's almost your bedtime, my little man. I know. Sorry. I love you.
Well, we are still on theme of goblins and stuff, so I'm making a goblin Nurgle creature from Warhammer, essentially. Or Nurgle inspired, I guess, is the... They have lots of eyeballs everywhere, so I'm going to capitalize on that. And horns. Horns and eyeballs. Is that... Yeah, I guess that works.
I'm not sure. Let's look at something on
And then I'll get your torso as well tonight, Anthony.
Testing Amazon must-haves that YouTubers made me buy. I don't know about that one.
The YouTubers made you buy.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't have enough resilience to turn out a YouTuber.
That's the whole, like, thing of that stuff, is they're always like, oh, blah, blah, blah made me buy it. And I'm like...
Sounds like you have no willpower.
Right? You want to watch Daddy's Live?
Okay.
On YouTube? Okay, hang on. We'll go back on 1 second. There's nothing better to watch.
What?
I was just being silly and messing with that.
Wrong with it?
Yeah.
Is that Elvis?
Shut your durian hole is my new favorite.
You listen here, buddy. You shut your durian hole.
Would you quit talking about Mike Tyson and Godzilla vampire blood?
Gosh. God, Mike Tyson and Godzilla flavored vampire blood sounds like the worst combination in the world. Oh man, that was solid. Alright, Daddy, where would you rather us watch your live at?
YouTube, I guess? I don't know.
That's what I was wondering.
I didn't know he was actually considered nice. That's funny. Well, nicest, I guess, is a relative term. Not necessarily that he is nice per se. Just that he is nicer than the others. Yeah, no problem, Mike. That's I try to keep things a little bit entertaining. So if we seem a little bit distracted, you just gotta reel me back in with a question or whatever.
In fairness, we're mostly distracted because we got our little tiny man up here. I liked that he said it. He looked as Muppet-esque as we all did.
He looked as Muppet.
Look at what Daddy's making.
Is that a goblin?
Sort of.
Yeah. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. I wonder if they'll let me call you what I called you that got banned on Facebook.
I hope.
Yeah. Nothing. Don't worry about
It's almost done?
it. No, he's still working on it. He's got a little ways to go.
I got a long ways to go. I haven't even touched the mouth.
What are you doing to this horn thing? Does it have an eye?
That's nice.
In the horn?
Yeah.
Ew. Gross.
That's too hard.
Ugh.
Wait, we can
I will
turn
say
it.
YouTube is not lagging by very much. YouTube is really on it. They're only
Hello.
behind by about 7 seconds.
Huh.
Wow, that's really cool.
Thank you.
How many eyes does this creature have?
Wait, that's the third
Oh, that's
eye.
just the tip of the iceberg.
That's the third eye.
Tip of the iceberg.
It's the tip of the iceberg. I have a. Do I have a ruler on me? I used to have a ruler.
What are you
Let's
looking
see,
for?
ruler anymore. He's asking what size this is.
Of your pen tablet?
Yeah.
I would say you have a 9-inch screen.
It's bigger than that.
You
Design.
think?
12 inch? 11
No.
inch? Well,
a
how
sheet
big is this?
of
'Cause
paper is
it's-
8.5 by 11. That's how big a standard copier paper is. It's 11 inches long, 8 inches wide.
Yeah, it's from corner to corner. It's longer than 11 inches. And that's how they measure this stuff.
Well, I guess it could be a 12-inch one.
I think it's like 12 inches or so. I don't have a 16 inch. That would be awesome. But I find it.
Didn't you order it on Amazon?
Yeah, a
I
long
could
time
just look in
ago.
our orders.
Long
It'll
time
just-
ago.
Yeah, but it'll tell me.
Okay.
You just go to your orders. Orders.
I don't understand why it still looks so
Yeah.
weirdly meshy.
They shipped, but they haven't.
Like I should be seeing my texture pattern on here by now. I would think. Maybe I need to divide it.
What year was it? 2016?
Something like that.
You hit 2013.
We'll pull it back.
Oh, you're okay, Mike. Oh, thanks. Even worked on the 2 recent Muppet movies. What? That's awesome.
Marvel Hulk.
Blake was saying his older brother worked on the 2 most recent Muppet movies in theaters.
Oh, really? That's cool.
What do you do on them?
Like, you worked on them, obviously.
Right.
I think it is super good.
Okay, filter. So it wasn't 2016, it must have been 2017. Which, of course, is the year that we had Genevieve, so I made like 1 billion
Purchases.
orders. Yeah.
Was it 2019 you had up? I mean, Jenna?
Huh?
No, I had it back at the old place.
Yeah, but we didn't move here until October
Oh, okay.
of that year. Shoot, what the heck? I literally can't find it. Are you sure you ordered it on here and not like eBay?
No, I ordered it on Amazon.
There's no way it was 2018. That's way too recent.
Puppet. He got to be Beaker? What? That's awesome.
How many things has Daddy bought? A lot.
Wow. All right.
For you, a lot. Yeah.
So in that case, being Beaker, was he just simply just the puppet person and he didn't actually do the voice, or do they do the voice in the puppet? Like, how does that usually work?
That was a good story.
Yeah. Well, I'm not humble because I literally can't find it, man.
Probably because it doesn't exist anymore. They probably like just removed the ad.
Altogether, if that's possible. Because I even went ahead and just searched it all.
Was that Mimi?
I honestly don't know. I'm like, where did I even have this shipped to? Oh, you're right. I had it shipped to Mimi. I'm assuming she got it. I never double checked. Honestly, I'm assuming she did get it. Do you recognize those fairies?
Yes.
She has those fairies? Okay. I didn't remember buying those for her.
I don't remember her having the other one. I remember having the one that's sitting down.
Then maybe she didn't get it if you don't remember it.
I mean, they would have shipped together, so logically she would have got them both at the same time.
Oh, good.
What kind of one do you have?
It's a Wacom Cintiq. They dub it the voice. Okay, I was wondering about that. I know, like, sometimes, like, when Elmo shows up at a place, Elmo is both the puppeteer and the voice. So I didn't know if, I guess I figure for movies they might, just simply be a puppeteer or whatever.
Cool.
Not that that's any small feat, that's awesome.
Are you sure it's not a 16?
I mean, they might call it a 16,
I think they go off the entire thing altogether.
Okay, so
Whole
it
thing.
might be a 16,
Because that's
Mike.
the smallest I can find.
Okay, it might be a 16, Mike. It might not be 12.
That was 1,000.
I don't think they do like how TVs go off of the diagonal.
I guess I
Right?
could have just looked at this thing. It probably
That's
has it.
1,000? That's 2,000.
Daddy's wasn't that expensive. Daddy's was about 800 when he bought it.
It's a 13 HD. That is what it's called. Wacom Cintiq 13 HD.
Oh, okay. Here it is then, maybe. 13.3.
Let's see here.
So, if somebody wanted... What the what?
What?
I'm so confused. Why is your model more expensive now than it was when you bought it?
Why? How much is it? Probably because
901 to 1,076.
probably because they don't make it anymore. So people are probably trying to.
I guess it says 2015 July model.
Yeah, they're trying. Why would you spend that much more money for one that?
I don't
is-
know.
I would assume not obsolete per se, but
Is yours like special or something?
I didn't think so. But it might have been like the last of its kind in a sense.
Maybe, because maybe all they make is the 16 now, and maybe if people wanted it a little smaller, they don't do that anymore.
Shoot, I'll trade some for 16.
The 16 is cheaper, technically. The 16 was available at like 900.
Right. So we're just giving him another weird horn thing. It seems like that's what you do. Scalpers in every
You know
market.
what?
Yeah,
I
no
bet-
joke.
I bet those are for brand new. I love you, baby. I'll see you in the morning. And then it looks like if it was used, it's like 500. But that's still held its value pretty good.
Well, yeah, these Wacom pen tablets are
Way better than a television, that's for sure.
yeah, that's because it doesn't actually get obsolete. That's the thing. It's not
Right.
actually.
No, actually.
What?
This is
Oh, he added another horn.
He's the coolest. That's awesome. Yeah. Not many people can say that. Beaker was one of my favorite Muppets anyway, so that's pretty hilarious.
Beaker, you said?
Yeah.
No, that's the hole for his head to pop onto the character. Which one was Beaker again? Oh, okay. That's what Joe just did. It's the one from the Muppets that goes with the pink hair?
Or red or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
I
changing
didn't
my
really
mind.
watch the Muppets. We were not a puppet family growing up.
And you're still not.
I am not. I'm not even ashamed that I don't really love puppets. He's just manipulating it.
Okay, I like that better. I was like, I don't like this horn going straight out the back of his head. It's a little
Yeah, it looked
strange.
weird. Are you going to add another horn at all to the other side, or 'cause he has like one horn and one ear?
Yeah, I'm working the asymmetrical angle completely. He also
Why
has
is one
3 eyes, like right there.
I know. I just thought maybe there would be like one aspect that was symmetrical.
Nope.
How much
Oh, okay.
dollars is it gonna be? 200?
Grayson wants to know if you're charging an appropriate amount for your work. He's like 200, 300.
I mean, I guess if someone commissioned me for this thing.
Grayson's like, and then what kind of toy are you gonna buy me? I was thinking go-kart.
No. No.
I was thinking Skeletor, so I can finish my stinking sword, since someone failed me.
Oh, stop. You're the one who bought.
You had to have both!
I know. What's his face?
He-Man?
He-Man. It was gonna be like Beast Man. I was like, you're the one who bought it in the first place. It's your fault for not checking the packaging.
Oh, so I could have gotten both at the time?
Yeah.
There you go.
You could have gotten 0% of them. Why'd you even need a He-Man? What'd you buy it for?
Let's play with Grayson.
For why?
Because it's cheaper than him playing with my Mythic Legions.
You're such a goober. Your dad's a goober bean. He's a gooby boober.
A giant tooth in the lower jaw. Yeah, shh. Don't give away where I'm putting more eyes at, Blake.
Ew, you're gonna put a eyeball in the mouth?
No, in the jaw, not the mouth. In the mouth would be weird. But maybe on his tongue, too. Hey, look at that.
Ew! I wanna not be part of this anymore.
Put a mouth on his tongue.
A mouth
A
on
mouth
his
on his...
tongue?
Oh!
Like
yes!
an alien?
Yes.
Grayson totally reminded me. I forgot. There's not enough mouths on him.
You like when Daddy makes stuff?
Yes.
He's pretty talented, huh?
Let me think here. How do I want to make the mouth on the back of his head?
Make it like the Venom mouth. It,
Yeah,
like,
I'm just trying to figure out
spreads.
like how I physically am going to do it.
You don't think instead of carving it out, just make it kind of almost flat to his face? Because that's what I meant.
It looks like a happy. It looks
Like flat to
it
his
looks
head.
like a face like this.
Yeah, it looks like a face is like.
His eyes are blind.
Okay, I don't have a ton of space there.
It is somewhere on the physical. Wow. That looks really cool. On the physical scene. Okay.
You got to be Kermit's right hand on a Jimmy Fallon interview. Interesting.
Somehow, it's not even registering that I'm watching your YouTube, so I'm starting to think these are wrong. It says 0 people are watching when I know for a fact I am currently watching.
Everyone's watching.
Sweetie,
Well, hello, Luna.
Oh, that
just
was
kidding.
weird.
Oh wait, cat.
I thought that was Jared.
My favorite thing about Luna is the door's always open enough that she can just come in, but she has to literally push the door open all the way. She's so extra.
I mean, that's the thing I hate about her, but
I'm
sure.
like, you're a cat. You can literally just squeeze through how much I left it open, and every time you gotta like run and like push it open as big as it goes. Lulu. Come here, Luna. You're such a handsome little man. I love you so much.
I don't think.
Gross.
Oh, stop. You love your son. Is that got a tongue?
Yeah.
Oh, for a second I thought that was the eye. Oh, right. You said it was going to be a mouth.
What do you think Daddy does best? Do you think he does drawing creepy things best, or animals, or
Luna's your dog's
people?
name. That's funny.
Creepy.
Mouth on the back
What?
like a lantern
What else?
fish. Lantern fish. Good.
Isn't that crazy fish that makes the
Hey, now it says blue.
fish come to him using the light, you know, the deep sea fish?
No. It looks like it's a tiny little thing. Are you sure you chose the right name?
I think he's talking about that one with the big bulbous-
Anglerfish?
I think it's anglerfish.
You talking about an anglerfish?
Yeah.
So lanternfish does not seem to be what I think you're talking about.
No,
I
it's
think
an
he's talking about that one
It's
where
an
the
angler.
antenna thing hangs over.
Yeah, that's
and
an
looks like
angler,
a little
That's an
bioluminescent algae.
That's an anglerfish.
That's an anglerfish?
Yeah.
Okay.
I-
You're so cute.
I didn't know what it was called, so I just called it a piranha.
Did you hear him?
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was called, so I just called it a piranha.
Well, that's an anglerfish. You said lanternfish, and I got like this weird, like tiny little.
Yes, that's called a mistake. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. People make those sometimes.
Shh.
Oh, it says
Come here,
piranha.
Lulu.
It used to say one.
Lulu, here. Come here. Come here, Lulu.
So when you say that, are you saying that I need to give this guy like
Well,
an
that's
angler
what I was
over
saying
the mouth?
When I said that you should make it like venoms, that's what I thought. It would be like an open mouth with sharp teeth.
Oh, I have an idea. Put
I
a
didn't
bunch
get
of
the sharp
mouths
teeth
on
in there
the
yet.
back- On the exit.
Put a bunch of mouths on his head.
Like 3.
Like 100.
Your Mimi will be very disappointed.
Your eyes are enormous. When your dad said your Mimi would be disappointed, your pupils got huge. You were like, what? My Mimi would be disappointed in me? Come here.
She does not like gross things.
She doesn't like gross and creepy things, which is hilarious because she raised you. Where'd you get it from?
She also got me on to Frank Peretti and stuff, who are creepy and gross.
Right? I will say, you're more like creepy and weird versus like there's some stuff out there that's heavily disturbing. And I don't feel like you're heavily disturbing. You're just like odd. Like weird little oddities. Oh my gosh, I watched the worst TikTok the other day and it made me so sad. So it was a cow, a baby calf that came out with 2 heads, but that it was not healthy. There was definitely issues and things wrong with it. He was like, unfortunately, we're gonna have to put it down because it couldn't even walk. It was blind out of both sets of eyes. It was like wouldn't stop moving its head like back and forth and back and forth, and it was the saddest thing ever. I was so sad.
Was it real?
It was real, yeah. Sometimes there's like birth defects in animals that it's just there's not like a good way to take care of them that they'll have a good life then. It's just better to put them to sleep than it is to let them suffer for however long they have. It's super sad.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I was saved this tooth from the one.
Alright, you about ready for bed, my love?
He's like, no.
I love you. You can see what Daddy did tomorrow. When you wake up, you can come up here and ask Daddy what he did. Because Daddy goes to work a little late tomorrow. I'll check on you and we'll shut down and turn the TV off and everything down there. Just a little longer. I love you.
1 minute.
Like 10 minutes. You're gonna be fine. You can turn the light on. Isn't the light on down there?
Yes.
Yeah, so why are you freaking out? I know.
You're such a big boy, though.
Promise. Me or Daddy. One of us is gonna go down there. Probably Daddy, in fairness.
He'll probably be
I love
hungry.
you. Did you have a dessert?
No.
You can pick one dessert snack. You can have one of my chocolates. But none of the really, really good ones. You can either have the brown toffee one or the strawberry one or the all white one that's just only white. Okay? So none of the like chocolate ones.
Did you say chocolate ones?
Yeah, you can go to the bathroom here. Did you just make fun of me?
I thought you
Stop
said chocolate.
mocking people who make mistakes. Goodness.
Did you say chocolate?
I probably did. I was gonna say dark chocolate, but I realized I don't want him touching the milk chocolate ones either. He can have the white chocolate, the strawberry, or the toffee truffles, but he cannot have my dark chocolate or milk chocolate truffles.
Alaskan Husky. Nice.
That's what kind of dog they have?
Yeah, Blake has you.
Oh, fun. I love you.
You should just join us on Facebook, I guess.
Which one?
No, I mean downstairs. But
Okay.
You can't even tell that mouth exists from the front. Sorry. That's awesome. Is he laughing at my laugh?
Alright. Dear Jesus, thank you for my grace and let him have a beautiful, wonderful night of sleep. No bad dreams, no waking up. In your great name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. He wanted me to sing him that song.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's a sweetie.
Is this what you had in mind, by the way, Blake, when you said angler teeth?
You can leave my door open a little bit and you can leave the light on for the hallway.
Oops. How'd you get all the way up there? How many of you are floating in the air? What happened here? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
It's a chop.
It's a chop.
Chop, chop, chop.
Ba-ra-ba-ba-ba-ba. It's a chop. Hold up. Wait a minute. It's a 22. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew.
It's the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
fool that you are, any strawberry desserts are the best, no exceptions.
I will say, if you feel that way, I bet you'd probably really like that Lindt came out with like an Easter limited edition truffle that was Neapolitan. So, well, outside was strawberry, inside was chocolate and vanilla.
Bubbers, I always lock the door.
Alright, love you. Wait, show me which chocolate you grabbed. Strawberry? Okay. Love you. Sorry, the kids eat all the strawberry ones now. You can't ever have them.
I know. What the heck?
I was trying to give them the white chocolate ones. Will you bring me my truffles? That's fine. Will you bring
Oh,
me
I was
my
going to do
truffles?
that anyway, so you're fine. You just confirmed my suspicions on what I should do.
What's the difference between a regular husky and an Alaskan husky?
I don't think there
Oh,
is.
he said all white with brown eyes, which I'm thinking must be what it is, because huskies normally have a mask and different shading, so. And they usually have blue eyes.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Lovey. Appreciate ya. You're a cutie little boy.
My printer's going to freak out when it sees this thing. It's going to be like, what are you trying to do to me? How do I support this?
Freaking ants! Freaking ants!
Already?
Yes, I've only had my chocolates open and out for one afternoon. I didn't even get to eat. I had one truffle. Why do we have an ant problem every year? I don't understand. Is it like where our home is located?
In the woods? Yeah.
In the woods by the water? I've not found an effective way to get rid of ants once. Every year they come back, every single year, in the same spot. How the heck are they getting in our house? They like live in our walls? Oh my gosh,
Yes.
please don't let them be living in our walls.
I mean, just kidding. They're not.
There's like 4 crawling on the box. Any more hiding in here? Yep, there's another one. I just wanted
Only
to
real
enjoy
difference is the relative size and leg length, also known as American Huskies.
Oh. Are they bigger than a husky, or?
Where do they come from if they're not American Huskies? Chinese?
Maybe an Asian country, possibly, because there's some Asian countries where it gets very cold.
Did you know that all those like lion-looking statues on Chinese
Buildings.
buildings and stuff, all those big regal-looking lions or whatever, they're all chows actually,
That makes sense.
and they put war armor and stuff on them. Siberian Husky, that's the other type. Thank you.
Siberian, that's Russian, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what it is.
No, it's from Siberia.
I thought that was in Russia. Oh. Remember that talk we had where I said I was really bad at geography?
Hey, don't tease me. You're really confusing.
Yeah.
He said Siberia.
It is in Russia. Okay, yeah.
That's not what he said. He said Siberia.
I looked it up on the internet.
Oh, okay.
Goodness.
Hold up. Wait a minute. So we need to finish Justice League still. We're still an hour away from finishing.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot.
It's funny because I don't even remember how everybody's like complaining about the old one. I don't even remember it
I
at
know,
all.
it's been so long. Oh my gosh, an American Husky kind of looks like a Pomeranian.
I wonder what your parents' Pomsky is made of then.
No, she had a mask when she was a puppy, so she was definitely from a Siberian Husky.
We just said that it had nothing to do with color.
Yes, it does.
No, he said it's mostly the...
He said his is white, and all the pictures when I looked up American Huskies are white. Except occasionally some of them seem to have brown, but 99% of the pictures are an all-white dog. Oh, they're much smaller. 18 to 35 pounds and what? And Siberian is like 40 to 60, I think.
Why would it be called an Alaskan Husky? Aren't they supposed to, like, race with them? Like, why would you race with one that's smaller than a Siberian
It's
one?
hecka cute, whatever it is. It's adorable. It's so fluffy. It literally looks like a bigger version of a Pomeranian, but all white.
So are all Huskies spunky, or is it specific to Siberian?
So males tend to be 44 to 60 pounds. Females 35 to 51 on a Siberian. What'd you say, hubby?
I was curious if they're all considered spunky, or if that's just like a...
Oh, like if they all have the sassy attitude?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I will say every video I ever watch is of a husky back talking its owner. I'm like, and you know what? I told my mom that. I was like, you know, like Kimber kind of like is mouthy, and she was like, not really, and I was like, yes, she is. Like she'll totally like talk back to you and like be spunky.
There we go. Got some gross mouth teeth.
Don't talk about me like that. Gosh, I wish you liked soup so bad.
I have failed you. I have failed the city.
I didn't realize like how sad I was about not having soup until just recently.
Eat cereal. That's soup.
You are a monster. Dang it, I feel like these chocolates are like giving me indigestion. I only ate 2.
No, and yes, they have very big personalities. It's like having a cat dog. Okay.
Oh.
Heard chows are like that. Are they okay with kids?
Oh, he also has a Siberian Husky named Strider.
From Lord of the Rings. Because Aragorn's too obvious.
My parents, my favorite dog of my parents, because they have 3, they have a, what the heck is it called? Is it an F1?
I think so.
So they have an F1 Pomsky. And she literally looks like a fox, but with blue eyes. She has like this reddish brown fur with a little bit of white on her chest and tail, bright blue eyes. And then they got the like flippin' cutest Pomeranian I've ever seen in my life. And he's this cream color with these like greenish brown eyes and a chocolate brown nose. And he's so cute. And then they had a baby. And the
Yeah, a few
baby
babies, of course.
is is mostly white with the reddish brown splotches on her back and bright blue eyes. And her face looks exactly like her mom. But my favorite is actually the dad, which is Cooper, the Pomeranian with the brown like nose and greenish brown eyes, because he is literally just like the goodest little dog. He's just so good, and he's so happy all the time. Like when I went over there the other night and I was watching the kids in the hot tub, and he straight up just, I was sitting on the step and he just came next to me and chilled next to me for like 10 minutes and just was like, hey, like had me like holding him. He's like, you're so dang cute. You're so cute. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, his looks like the other ones. It's all white and small and a lot smaller than the husky, like noticeably. And for the most part, all the dogs were looking at the camera, which is really impressive to get 3 dogs to do. I want a dog, but we also have a lot of children and no fenced-in area outside.
Right.
I think, honestly, I would figure out a way to make it work if we had a fenced-in yard of any kind, even just any area of our yard had an area that was fenced in, so I didn't have to worry about our dog, like, running into the woods or something. But we literally live in the woods, like our house, the acre that it's on, it's mowed and everything, but as you start to walk back behind our house, the grass gets really tall and taller and taller, and then it literally goes into the woods where there are absolutely 100% like coyotes, foxes, bears, like, and I don't ever want my dog to like wander off and get eaten by a wild animal. Also, we have tourists who stay here on a resort, and I don't want them like hitting my dog or taking my dog and then going home with it, because
Right.
I feel like that would happen.
Yeah, with these people, they're just
They're
weird.
not crazy considerate. Every time that they come here, our road gets covered in litter. Every year. Covered in litter, they're super loud, shooting guns in the middle of the night. That is my least favorite thing about the positioning of our house. For sure.
Right.
And I'm so bummed because I don't think that cabin was built until we were like already living in our house for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, it wasn't completely built at least.
And I honestly thought somebody was building a house, not that they were building a resort.
Right.
I was like, dang it.
Trying to figure it out. That's an alligator skin somewhere here. Trying to. Bless you.
Sorry.
I have to figure out where I put that thing. Alright, whatever. So, we are an hour in, and this guy still looks far. Apparently,
Man, I really miss having ducks.
a bit off a lot with this one. You do?
I really do. I'm really sad that we had to give the ducks away because our children would like kill them.
Yeah.
I really liked our ducks. I really loved hatching them and like taking care of them.
Yeah, that's fun.
But you literally have to have more than one duck. You can't have one duck because did you know that ducks will die of loneliness?
Oh, fun.
Yeah. You absolutely have to have at least 2 ducks. Someone's offering eggs to be delivered to your house.
Weird.
30 eggs is $25. 50 eggs is $35. 70 eggs is $45. 100 eggs is $60. They come and drop off a bunch of eggs in your yard.
In your yard?
For Easter, or yard of your choice. For Easter.
Well, that's nifty.
I'm trying to figure out if they mean like hard-boiled eggs. I think it said candy and toy-filled. Oh, yep, candy and toy-filled eggs. I mean, that's kind of brilliant. You don't have to go buy the eggs. You don't have to stuff them. Somebody does it all for you, and you just pay them to go hide them in your yard.
Right.
Interesting. Do you know what our Easter plans are?
Church?
Going to your parents, or?
I don't know. Hound I have. Lily is very good at recall. Don't get a husky. They jump fences and don't have good return due to the fact they like to run super far in one direction.
Ah, that makes sense. My main, I mean, really realistically, if I was to pick like a dog that was my absolute ideal dog, would be a golden retriever. I just love golden retrievers. I've always loved golden retrievers. I think they're awesome, and they're funny, and they're smart. They're goofy. They're good with kids. I mean, they're just a pretty stellar dog.
Right.
I just didn't realize, because they're so common, that they're still like a kind of expensive dog. Like, to get them, if they're like AKC registered, can be like $1,200. And I'm like, what? It's a golden retriever. I feel like it's not like a designer breed of dog, you know? It's like your everyman type of dog.
Wait, how expensive are golden retrievers?
Like up to $1,200 for an AKC
Still?
registered golden retriever, which that's what confuses me. I get for like designer breeds or like, you know, really like frou-frou breeds, but golden retriever is just such like an every person type of dog. You know, like a lab.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's so expensive. Apparently Robert also has a husky.
Yeah, I knew that. I said,
Oh, I didn't know that.
he has 2 huskies.
Oh. I'm guessing since he lives in Colorado, they probably get a fair amount of snow, right? I can't remember if some parts of Colorado don't snow at all, or if it all does get snow, it's just in varying levels. So, regardless, if it does snow, I bet they love it.
Right.
My Nana had a husky, and she lived in Grass Valley, California, where it does sometimes snow because it's getting more to the top of California. Not at the very top, but it's just getting closer versus Sacramento. And she had a husky for a little while, and her name was Krista, and she had a blue eye and a brown eye, like Blake's husky did. And she was super cute and hyper and like really petite. She was pretty small, probably only like 30 pounds. And she would love every time it snowed. Oh my gosh, that's so many labs. I love labs too. Like, I had a black lab growing up that was part lab, part Cocker Spaniel. The only downside that I have found with labs, and it's not even really a downside, it's just something you have to be like more conscious of, is, man, they like have to play. Like, they have to socialize, they have to be able to kind of like run and jump around. Like, they're a very energetic, spunky dog. They're like the perfect dog for people who go out and like do things and hike and go on walks and go to the park. And I'm like, I need a dog that's like fine with that I'm probably only going to like like have them go outside and run around and maybe like walk them in the neighborhood occasionally. And I don't know that like that's
Okay,
enough
that's-
for a lab.
Okay.
He said he lives in Michigan. Luna refuses to come in if it's snowing. I saw like 100 TikToks of people having to like explain that their dog literally loves being in the snow because they had things like Alaskan Malamutes and Huskies and what's that other? Great Pyrenees? Another type of dog that gets really fluffy and really enjoys being in the snow. And people were like, it's too cold out there, it's too cold out there. And the lady's like, opens the door. And, like, I saw a ton of like this where they're like, come on, come in, come on, what are you doing? Come inside. And the dog is just like, no, I'm not coming inside. And they're like, the dog likes the snow. This dog is made for this kind of weather. They have dual coat, you know, they're made for snow. So this is what they wait for all year. Whereas
Right.
we live in a place where it does not snow very often. So I think it would be like unfair for us to get a dog that is really not designed for like how humid and hot it gets here.
There we go. This is what I've been wanting to do. Okay, let's have some fun with this. This is a much easier way to get nasty.
Yeah, that's another reason why I'm like, it would be hard for me to have a dog because, like, realistically, trying to wrangle 4 children to try to go walk a dog, it's just probably not going to happen. Now, maybe when my kids are way older and I've got, like, nobody who needs me to, like, be paying attention to them almost constantly, we would ideally be able to have a dog by then. It's just like my kids are like, I want a puppy, and I'm like, I want a puppy too, but it's just not a really good idea because I don't have the time, and you aren't gonna take care of it, and we don't have a place for it to go. So for now, I just go to my parents' house and I pet their dogs. And then I remember how much dogs shed, and I'm like, hey, maybe I'm okay for now, not having a dog.
Right. Every night, Robert cooks his dogs chicken food and rice.
My mom would do that sometimes, like if the dogs were having like skin conditions, she would give them like green beans with brown rice and scrambled eggs, and that way their like any like irritations they were having would clear up a little quicker and make their coat nice and soft. They make a lot more companies now that offer like refrigerated dog food that will like ship to your door. But I'm like, at that point, when you are paying that,
Make it yourself.
like just realistically, could you not just sheet pan a whole sheet tray of chicken and then steam a bunch of carrots and then make like a big old rice cooker pot of rice and then like meal prep for your animal for the week? Because I imagine like it's way more expensive for those refrigerated pet foods than it would be to just do it that way.
There we go. Now he's getting nasty.
I just feel like if we're gonna get a dog when it's later and we don't have like kids much anymore, that's like the level of extra I'm probably gonna be.
You would.
Like, come here, I made you your special breakfast.
Right.
I will say what's really been interesting to find out is that animals can have allergies like humans. And I think that's kind of been the most fascinating. Because I guess I kind of figured because they were animals that they were better off than us. Like, I get that they get diseases sometimes and things like that, but just never considered that they would have allergies. And then for the longest time, my cat was having this issue where she was ripping out all her fur, And I kept thinking she was having fleas, and I thought she was getting worms from the fleas, and so I kept like trying to give her medicines, and none of it was working. And finally, about 6 months ago, it just kind of dawned on me, like, can cats have allergies? And basically, I found out that even though I wasn't feeding her low quality food, something in it, which I think is fish, was making her have skin allergies. And so she has to only eat like blue buffalo, chicken, cat food for indoor cats. Because all of the other foods that I have tried make her throw up and then rip her fur out. Because she gets like dermatitis from it. Which is crazy. And it kind of makes me wonder if that's what was wrong with Mira too. And I just didn't know.
Right, yeah, and we had a cat die of a
Oh, that was the worst.
UTI or whatever.
Yeah, he got a bladder blockage, and we didn't know that
They
could
were
happen
deadly.
with cat foods. Just eating only dry cat food over time can build up proteins in their urine that causes them to get bladder blockage. And he went from being like kind of antsy to like really not fine to too far gone that there was like nothing we could do. And it was horrible.
Like, calm down.
Me?
Yeah, you're
I
right.
didn't cry.
Okay.
It just made me really sad because I felt really bad. So, from now on, I only have one cat at a time that I can pay attention to. So I can try to make sure I do the right things.
It's true, it's a little bit easier to take care of them if you know exactly.
Right. Well, and that was the thing. And there was points where we had like 3 or 4 cats when we were doing like fostering and things like that I think are just difficult to pay attention to. Oh, interesting. So what day are your parents supposed to be coming back? 28th or 27th? Are they coming back on your birthday?
I can't remember. My birthday is Saturday, everybody, so, you know. If you want to give me something cool, that's fine. No, I'm just kidding.
If you wanted to buy something, that'd be fine. So that I could have a cooler birthday.
Right? I have to wait till my pre-orders come in for Mythic Legions. That's going to be in April.
I feel bad for when animals get allergies. I can't imagine anything more confusing than an animal being like, why the heck is my nose so runny? And then they can't wipe it because they don't have hands, so they don't have tissue, so they just have to sit there. It must be awful. They like sneeze 600 times in a row. They're like, oh, rubbing their nose on everything, trying to like get it to stop dripping.
What the F was wrong?
Yeah. I'm so irritated. Are you gonna make his teeth sharp or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not leaving it like that.
I was like, oh, interesting choice to give him regular mouth teeth.
That's just a quick way to get teeth in his mouth. Because I think I'm going to call it for the night here.
What? Goldfish can pass from bladder infections? Learn something new every day. No wonder it must be hard to be a veterinarian. There's like way more types of animals than there is humans, and they can all have different things.
They all have different reproduction systems.
Yeah. All different everything, really. Like the
almost like, I'm kind of more impressed by veterinarians than doctors. All doctors do is have to memorize the general shape of human beings, where things go. And then what you really do is you actually pick a specialty, and then you just study that specialty. So that you don't do generalized medicine where you have to memorize everything. You just work in that specialty. Like OBGYNs exclusively work with women, so you can't come in and be like, check my prostate. Like, they're like, no, we don't do that. You know? You don't go to like an eyeball doctor and be like, can you look at my wrist? Whereas a veterinarian, they're like, can you look at my cow and then also my cat, and then I have a parrot and my iguana.
All of it.
All today. They're all being weird, and they all have different environments and completely different bone structures. And they can't tell you what's wrong.
Good luck.
Good luck. Have fun. Plus, I bet you veterinarians kill less animals than doctors accidentally kill people. I mean, I've never heard of it. I guess it's not impossible that someone could be like, my veterinarian killed my pet. But it seems unlikely. Versus doctors just accidentally making a small mistake, and then it's like, oop, sorry.
Right.
Speaking of which, this girl's like, she goes, so my first birth, they told me they were bringing my child to me, and they brought me the wrong baby. And then my second birth, they brought a baby into my room, and I was like, that's my baby over there. She hasn't even left the room. And so she was like, on her third one, she was like, my baby is literally not leaving the room. Period. Like, at all. And they were like, all upset about it. And she was like, you can do all your testing and everything you need to in this room. And they were like, we're not trying to steal your baby. And she's like, right. It's less about, like, you trying to steal my baby and more about the fact that, like, you keep messing up with my baby. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I would have ever gone back to the same hospital if it happened twice. By a third time, I'd be like, no, we're figuring out a different way. Like, I'm going to go home with the wrong baby.
Yeah. Hey, this child is black and I am white.
Well, and that's the thing is I was like really confused because at our hospital we have barcode bracelets. So like when I give birth, they put a barcode on our baby that matches my bracelet. And so whenever they bring the baby or take the baby out of the room, my bracelet gets scanned. And so that's how they check and make sure like this is my baby. So you'd have to be like not just negligent, you'd have to be like purposefully trying to like screw up, you know, because otherwise when you scan, if the barcodes don't match and my name is printed on the baby's bracelet, he said he had a hamster for 4.5 years. I don't know, is that a long time? I don't
Pretty
really
long.
know how long hamsters live.
I had one for pretty long.
Yeah. Joel was not really allowed to have pets
Kept being allergic to
growing
everything.
up. He kept being allergic, but also realistically, his mom didn't like them. And so he did finally get to keep one of the pets that she had got him, and it was a hamster. And apparently, it wasn't even a nice hamster that you could hold and pet on a regular basis, and it literally lived for so long.
They blamed me, like, you didn't play with him enough, so he got mean.
I mean, that's probably true, because I did hear that that happens. If you don't socialize them enough, they become, like, mean.
They say that. I don't actually ever remember it biting me, even still, so I don't know.
My friend's hamster bit me really hard, and I was like, wow. I didn't know they could bite me that bad.
Hamsters over 2 to 3, gotcha.
That's probably what yours did then. 2 years.
I don't know. They seem to leave for a while. So.
I feel like your mom was like, he lived for forever.
You're like, oh really?
His hate
You
made him
live
strong.
forever. Yeah.
I can't imagine that you did play with it much because you're not like big. You are not big into animals. Like, so I feel like on the one hand, your mom did not love having animals, and then on the other, you didn't seem that interested. So she was just like, meh.
Fair enough.
I always liked when we got animals. That was like one of my favorite. Every time like we would get to get a new dog or like a new cat, I'd get so excited.
You would.
Yeah. The only thing that I really hated was we would have a dog for years and years and years and years and years, and then it'd be like time to put them down, and I was like, why do we keep doing this?
And then you got another one. You forgot about it.
No. When they put down Cammy, I was really mad.
Like, she's perfectly fine. Look at her. I don't care that it looks like she's limping.
Well, I will say, now that I'm older, like, I do know that hip dysplasia can be really, really bad, but, man, when I was little and they were just like, oh, yeah, we had to put her down, and I was like, you never liked her anyway, and you didn't even tell me you were going to do it or anything, you just did it while I was at school, and I didn't even get to say goodbye or anything. I was super sad about it. I actually found my diary entry, like, years later saying, I hate my mom and dad. They took my best friend and moved me to this stupid place I don't like, and I was so angry. I was like madder than I probably had ever been prior to that point at them. I was just like, I'll never forgive you. You killed my dog. Prepare to die.
In some ways, you haven't. No, I'm just kidding.
I may not have. I don't know. Now that I'm saying it again, I'm like, that was so mean.
Who
Like, why
does
did they
that?
wait until I was at school and I didn't even say goodbye to her? Monsters.
Mm. Well, it probably was socialized early. I don't know why it exactly wouldn't have been to whatever, but
I mean, it was probably socialized early and then it grew a little and you were like, okay, I'm done now. Did you watch that video, by the way, of our daughter dancing to the trap version of Baby Shark?
I don't know what trap means.
It's the one where it's like, Baby Shark, do 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 do.
When I think of trap, I only think of guys that look like girls or something on purpose.
No, trap is just, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. It's like techno, but it's different from techno. Oh yeah, we never waited years. Like, I'm pretty sure, well, technically I guess we did, because when they put down Cammy, we already had Bryson and Goliath, and so we just kept Bryson and Goliath. And then they didn't get another dog until we ended up putting down Goliath because he was 10 and just was not doing well. And so then they got Riley. He was a King Charles Cocker Spaniel, and he got hit by a car and died, and that was really sad. So then they just had Bryson again, and then they got 2 brother Australian Shepherds.
That was funny. Oh man, Bryson gets so mad at them.
And then Bryson was just this angry little tiny Pekingese that was getting so old, and he was just really over the big, loud, aggressive Australian Shepherds who were like always fighting with each other. And so he was down, and then they had to rehome their Aussies because where they were going wasn't going to have a fenced in yard at all, and the Aussies would run away, and also kind of sometimes one of them would attack people. Oh yeah, we would have never waited that long. Usually my parents, maybe like 6 months max. Definitely not like 6 or 7 years. But after they rehomed the Aussies, which they ended up going to somebody who had been wanting Aussies really bad, so was really excited to get them, and that we knew.
And that's something to visit at any time.
Yeah, and then that's when they got the Pomsky. Actually, technically, they had the Pomsky when they had the Aussies. And then they kept the Pomsky, and then they got a Pomeranian, and then when the Pomeranian and the Pomsky were together, they ended up making a litter of babies. And then
which was done on purpose.
Yeah, they did that on purpose, but all the litter of babies was taken, and then except the one that they have, because her leg got broken when she was playing with her brothers and sisters. One of them like pushed her or something. The way she fell off of a stair, it like broke her leg, and so they knew she was gonna have to be in a cast for a long time. So they just decided to keep her. So they have 3 dogs that are mostly Pom. One of them is half husky. One of them is like a quarter husky. So, and then I'm assuming that would be the last dogs they'll probably honestly get.
Yeah, they're with 3 locations now. They're kind of going.
Yeah, they have 3 locations, so they're gone off and on and off and on, kind of erratically. So thankfully, they have a good setup where they have a whole entire garage that has heated floors. That's like a 3-car garage that maybe a 2-car garage that the dogs go into to go to bed with crates.
It's like bigger than 2-car, but it only like the way it's designed.
Yeah, it's not. It's like bigger than a 2-car, but like more like because it's for a living situation, not like side by side. You could put a bunch of cars in there, but like it goes out farther than it goes in width. If that makes sense. But anyways, they can go in the garage, and the garage is heated and cooled so that it doesn't get like overwhelming. And then they can go outside and go potty, and they have like a whole area, and they can go get in the pool for a little bit if they want to, and then they can go back into the garage. So, aw, that's cute. He said his dog was a purebred Siberian Husky, and it had the best smile a dog could have. I do think that Husky smiles are pretty cute. I realize now, I'm like, dang, I have had a lot of dogs.
It's like the first time you really have it in a while.
I know. That's why I think it's been so hard, is I'm like, I mean, it's like I straight
Is
up
that what you
grew
gotta do
up.
since you don't have friends? Is that I just gotta get you a dog?
Gotta give me a bunch of dogs? Probably.
No, one. No, I didn't say a bunch. Put words in my mouth.
It's just hard because when I think about it, I'm like, we got Goliath when I was 3. I had Goliath till I was 13 years old. And we got Cammy when I was 4, and we had Cammy until I was 12. So, I mean, by that point, I mean, except for the very, very early first part of my life where I had like just cats, I have had cats and dogs my whole entire life. So then when you and I got married and we like didn't really have pets, I was like, I don't understand.
4K.
I don't know how to live. There's always animals in my home normally. But I will say not having animals for a long time almost kind of made me more stuck up like you. And then I started to be like, why are you guys going potty in my house? That's so annoying. It's like when it wasn't my home when I was growing up, like I didn't pay for it, so I didn't really think about it. And then I got older and it was my house, and I went for so long long without an animal that I was like, oh, that's not like my favorite trait. I don't love that. But it is really weird to like go for so long without having an animal. It wouldn't let me look at that post. Like, I don't know if it was on your page or somebody else's maybe that I'm not friends with. So, anyways. Plant-based meat. I don't know what I did, but I accidentally let Facebook think I was a vegan.
Ew.
Yeah, they keep giving me stuff about being vegetarian and vegan, and I'm like, no, fam. I do like meat.
Speaking of tipping people off this stuff, so where I work, where we're at in Arkansas, there's not many like different types of vehicles. It's pretty much everybody's just driving a truck or something old and crappy. That's kind of our general thing. So as I work and I saw a Fiat sitting in the parking lot, and in my head I'm thinking, Fiat. So then later on I get one of those Google. I do the Google rewards and for the free money, and then I buy movies with it. It's really great. If you can save up $20, you can get movies, and then cross them over to your Voodoo, which then goes to everywhere, which is great. So anyway, as far as that goes, I Google rewards then, like 2 hours later, asks me if I Google searched Fiat, and I'm like, well, what?
You're like, no, I just thought it in my head.
I just thought it in my head. I didn't say it out loud. In my head, Fiat was the word that I thought, and it was asking me if I searched for it.
I'm just honestly at this
mind
point,
reading
like,
exists, by the way.
Right? I'm like, what do we even do? It's like, it's not like we don't all like kind of know it's real. Like that one time where I went to bed thinking, what
About
even would a
ketchup,
tomato pie
pie.
be? Like, why is that a thing? And I don't know why, and it was the most random thought in my head, and I was just like, ew, tomato pie. And then I woke up the next morning, and the very first suggestion on my Pinterest was a tomato pie, despite definitely not having said it out loud because you were asleep, and I was just sitting there in bed thinking, why would anyone make that?
Yep.
And then I'm like, oh my gosh. But like, we know, like, we like know it's a thing, and we just like, what? Like, we just pretend it's not a thing, or like...
I don't know the answer to that.
Like, there's memes and jokes about it all over Facebook, and I'm like, should we be more concerned? Like, at this point, are we all just like, it just like is our life now?
Right. I think so. What are you laughing at?
It says 2020, wear a mask and stand 6 feet apart. 2021, wear 2 masks and stand 3 feet apart. 2022, wear 5 masks and stand on 1 foot. 2023, to the left.
To the left
24,
now.
take it back now, y'all. 25, cha-cha real smooth.
That's funny. So, I think we have a pretty good Nurgle head here. I don't really know.
Aw, it's you, baby. Find someone who loves you, even though you're a brat.
Yeah.
I still love you anyway.
It's my birthday, you better. Or in 2 days.
Yeah, you don't get birthday week.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's his dad. Okay, yeah, that's probably why I can't see it, because I'm not friends with that person. Well, your goblin's looking very goblin-y. If I didn't know any better,
I'd look at him and be like, "Are you a disgusting goblin?"
Good, good.
But I do know better, so I'm like, "Are you a really cool disgusting goblin?"
You're trying to warm me up for something.
Ugh. I mean, I definitely have a lot of, like, deja vu type dreams. This was just a very, very weird situation. And then there was another time where this time it wasn't mind reading, it was absolutely just listening, because I have an Amazon account and my Amazon's linked to my Facebook, and so I will always get, like, things that Amazon thinks I would like. So we were watching a crime drama show, and the killer used permethrin, which is an ingredient in bug killers. It's a poison that it's in not residential grade bug sprays, but like it's like a commercial grade. So it's something that like a professional like exterminator would use, is like pure permethrin. So in the show, the killer used permethrin to kill their victim. The next morning, when I was going through Facebook and it gives me my Amazon recommendations for items, commercial grade permethrin is the first thing that it was like advertising to me to buy, which I was like, I've never researched permethrin. I've never looked it up on this phone, ever. However, I did watch a show last night before I went to bed where the killer used permethrin to kill their victim. And I was like, there's no getting out of that. That was like absolutely like a listened thing.
Yep.
So that part, I was just like, I guess we just...
It is what it is.
Right, now I'm going to get bug killer and husky ants probably. Probably tomorrow I'm going to get a bunch of stuff about pets. Because, like, Amazon Pets, every few weeks or so, when I, like, talk about the fact that I'm sad I don't have animals, or, like, I start commenting or liking a lot of people's posts about dogs, Amazon Pets always is, like, advertising me, like, dog toys, dog food, dog treats. I'm like, stop hurting me. I don't have a dog. Okay.
Like, thanks for reminding me how expensive
like,
it is.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, actually, I'm always like, oh my gosh, I would so buy that. Like, I would absolutely buy that for my dog. Thank you, but I don't have a dog. But it is really funny. I'm like, there's definitely like a correlation between the more animal videos I've been watching and the more I've been liking people's videos and pictures of their dogs and cats, the more I get Amazon Pet.
That's why I turn it off. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't want you to suggest anything that you...
I like it sometimes, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, that is really useful, thank you.
No, I don't like it, because that's how I found out about my 3D printer, because I turned it off and it gave me new ads, and I'm like, oh.
In fairness, that one time where I finally did go through and delete it, I didn't realize how many car websites
Oh yeah, that one was annoying.
using my thing, and they were just constantly sending me like car websites, and I was like, I have the vehicle I want for now, thank you. Your friend Troy, who is your top fan,
Hey Troy,
says this is sick, dude.
thanks.
I'm
look
thinking,
at the mouth on the back of his head.
I'm thinking at this point Blake is working his way to top fan.
Right? Like, do I just
There's
gotta
no
slap
way
it on?
by next week Blake's not going to be top fan.
I know.
Watch out, Troy. He's coming for you.
That's right.
I don't know how many top fan badges they give out.
You don't want to lose your ranking.
Yeah, you don't want to keep commenting and watching, or you might lose your badge. I don't know. This actually might be one of my faves of a thing you've done recently, even though I do really like what you did Right, from my cold dead fingers. Even though I did really like what you did with the ogre and vampire, I actually really like this one. It's super weird.
Right. It's right up my alley,
Like
huh?
says he just likes to hang out. He's not in it to win it, Troy. You might still have it. He's just here for the fun.
I just like to be
he's
here,
just
guys.
happy to be here.
I'm just happy to be here. Yeah, that's it. I'm just happy to be here.
Oh man.
I like look at him and I'm like, you know what? That spot could use an eye.
That's something I never think of when I'm ever looking at anyone.
You know what could go right here in an
You know what
eyeball.
would be really good there is an eyeball.
I'd be like, what the F?
Gotta be a special kind of person.
What the? Okay.
How cold are we talking? Oh, I forgot I was going to ask you what part of Michigan you're from. My sister lives in Washington Township. About like 45 minutes from Detroit. So her husband is from Flint or Flint adjacent. I know he comes from a not super ideal part, is what he said. Oh, look, Troy and Blake are working it out. They're going to alternate weeks of top fandom. They're going to share the badge.
As long as you don't. Nope.
Are you going to rhyme with badge?
I was gonna rhyme with badge as long as you don't share the thing that rhymes with badge.
I know you. That's hilarious.
My head has sounded funny.
You can share the badge, but don't share the
Begins with a V.
badge.
Match. So I don't know if anyone noticed, I gave him a chin on the back of his head. Maybe we'll make it cleft. Make it a cleft chin. It'll be more obvious as a chin now. We do the cleft chin. We'll give it some lip details. Thanks. Really, I'm drawing my inspiration from Nurgle stuff on Warhammer, the Nurgle species stuff. And as Blake pointed out, he gives you illness with hugs or something like that, or disease. And I guess I shouldn't be offended because Alicia said the same thing. Just these are my best heads. Wait, do I keep him smiling like this, or?
So did you ever finish Cinnamon the cat?
No, I need to get back. I know. She said no rush, and then I was like, oh, I want to do this goblin thing real quick. And
And then you were like, 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later. It's on the brain. We have not forgotten.
Troy also thinks it might be one of your
That's what I
best.
said. Yeah, like, do you like the cleft chin that I now gave the mouth on the back of his head?
He has a very Henry Cavill-esque
Cleft chin.
cleft chin now, very Superman. I'm thinking that maybe doesn't look like a cleft chin.
What else could it look like?
Maybe something less appropriate than that. I'm getting a real Wobuchuck vibe.
Oh.
When you added a chin, it looked like the outer mouth.
So if I do this for you.
Oh, that's exciting. I mean, I don't know. You ask the people how they feel. It
Al
could just be
Capone's
how
golf
I'm
caddy?
reading
Wow.
into it.
Does he need another mouth? That's like the other question, honestly.
I kind of like the amount of mouths that he has.
Oh, okay. What if I put a mouth in his tongue on the inside?
I think that would be excessive, weird, and nobody would see it because of his teeth.
But I'd be like, we know it's there, though. So. Does he
So
need
we all know it's there.
But we know it's there. Does he need another eyeball on his jaw? That's the. I just put one over here.
Troy, Texas is where my in-laws are right now.
Yeah, that's where my
Visiting
parents
some
are right now.
family.
Yep.
That's where Joel's mom's from, and so
They're in Abilene.
she says things. She swears it's Texas, but I swear it's not. She calls it a mirror, which I'm like, I've met tons of people from Texas who still call it a mirror. She calls it Chipotle instead of Chipotle. Again, met a lot of people from Texas. Definitely still call it Chipotle. She swears it's the Texas in her, though, so I don't know.
To say things incorrectly, I guess.
I'm like, is it just the Texas in you to refuse to acknowledge that you're saying things wrong? Maybe.
She's like, ignorance is bliss.
And then Blake, he says, honestly, I really don't know where Ann Arbor is. I honestly only know where Detroit is.
We can pronounce Spanish words correctly.
Okay, so like I'm from California, and I'm like, I'm confused. I had a pretty large Hispanic population in California. I think it probably helped me to be able to like pronounce words fairly correctly. I assume it would be similar in Texas, as there is also quite a large Hispanic population there. And so I'm like, I think that you're just saying it wrong to say it wrong. I've like told you 100 times it's Chipotle, not Chipotle. My favorite thing is when we went to, so when I grew up in California, it's just really, intermingled for Hispanic culture there. And so our ice cream trucks would sell Mexican candy. And I love Mexican candy. I love it. I think that the combination of savory and spicy with like sweet is amazing. So I always used to buy it, and then when we moved to Arkansas, lo and behold, who could have guessed, there's no Mexican candy here. You cannot find it. Like, they just, like, don't sell that. They don't sell anything remotely ethnic
here?
cultural, like, anything. Which I get it. I mean, people probably wouldn't buy it. But, I got to go to Texas, to visit my husband's family. And I stopped at like 3 different stores and just piled on like bags of Mexican candy. So that for like a year I had Mexican candy, and it was the best. and I loved it. Why do I not order more Mexican candy on Amazon?
I don't know, we discussed this, I thought.
It's not as good. It's not as good as getting to look at the brands in the store, because when you look at the brands in the store, you can tell which ones are better. He says Mexican candy rocks. I will say one thing I was disappointed in is in California, Lucas was basically almost like the seasoning that they would put on their suckers, like that, chili with the salt and everything in it. And then when I ordered some, it was called Lucas Bombasso, and it was like a paste, like a chamoy and chili paste or something, instead of the powder. So if you happen to come across Lucas powder, I would absolutely pay for you to send that to me, because Lucas powder is my jam. It's like Frank's Red Hot. I put that crap on everything. Which, that tahini seasoning that they sell in the store is kind of close. It just has a little bit more lime in it than Lucas does.
Gotcha.
I will say that's a huge reason I've been wanting to go to Texas. I'm like, real Mexican food and Mexican candy. Miss it so much.
My parents just eat El Chicos.
I know. Your parents are so funny to me. I'm like, I can't believe you grew up in Texas and you don't love authentic Mexican food. Like, that's crazy to me. Even Tex-Mex is different from what I feel like she prefers to eat. I'm like, a tortilla with ground beef and refried beans and cheese on it is not Tex-Mex. That's homemade Taco Bell. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love me some Taco Bell, but I would not call it Mexican food. I'd not call it Tex-Mex.
It's the Bell beyond compare, or whatever they call
I
it.
just watched this guy's TikTok the other day where he goes, you guys ever eat a Taco Bell and then you tell someone that you really like Taco Bell and they just feel the need to tell you, like, that's not real Mexican food? Like you didn't already know? I'll see if I can find a picture of it. I don't know.
Well, do they consider Taco Bueno real Mexican food? Because I don't like that.
I do not. I don't think anywhere that we probably have anywhere in the Midwest is Mexican food. I wonder if I always called it Lucas, but it actually is a different name.
Oh no.
Because the one that I can find that looks like what I used to buy is called Zumba Acidin. No, this one says Lucas Acidito. Spicy chili mix.
The best we have to Mexican here is El Charros.
I do like El Charros.
That's not to knock it. I do think it's
I actually think they're probably like
pretty
the
solid.
closest.
food.
Yeah. I would say they're authentic for what you could do in Arkansas, because we don't have access to all the chilies and things that you would have access to for the different kinds of sauces. So they are a little bit limited to their capabilities here.
Right.
You know what else was really good in California too? Is Chinese food. And I'm sure it probably was not authentic Chinese food because I heard that almost anything you mostly get in America is not like usually an authentic Chinese food. However, Chinese food in California, it was truly so good, even though it was from like a fast food restaurant style place. You know, like it wasn't just like a privately owned, it could be like a chain, and it would still be just really good. We used to go to this one called Dignity Dragon. I loved that place, and they would serve it family style on like a rotating Lazy Susan, and just everything was so good there. I've decided that's where I want to go
Texas?
for my 30th birthday. I
Okay.
want to take you to California. See
Oh, California.
yeah. And we can go stay with my aunt and uncle who still live there, because they are my only family left living there. I'm going to send you that picture so that you can send it to Troy so that he could tell me if he sees it.
Okay. You can't post it in the thing?
I don't think so. I don't really know how to do that. I feel like I'm not that computer.
Can you copy the thing and then do it?
Can you do that? Do they let you just...
Copy links and post them? Yes.
So here's the thing that I get in my head about Taco Bell. Taco Bell is like if I don't feel like cooking dinner, but I also don't want to spend more than $20. But if I want like Mexican food, Taco Bell's not gonna do it. Like that's not gonna be what satiates my want for Mexican food. In fact, if I'm being really honest, I probably haven't had my desire for Mexican food
Fixed.
satisfied in the last 15 years because I've lived in either Arkansas or Missouri, and it's just not quality Mexican food. It's not the worst. It's just definitely not anything in comparison. I would also say that's kind of a hard part about living in California is like until I moved away, I did not understand that most of the produce that I was eating was grown in my state. So when it was picked and it was shipped, it wasn't like days and days between. So they could wait until things were riper, they could wait until things were fresher. Now, not so much. Where, you know, in Arkansas, we're a very landlocked state. And because of our soil, there's not a lot of produce that can grow here. We have very, very rocky and clay-heavy soil, so almost everything is shipped from some other state. We get, like, our apples from Michigan. Our avocados come from Mexico and California, I think. I think our watermelon, even though we can technically grow watermelon in Arkansas, I do not think it comes from Arkansas. So I actually looked it up, and California is responsible for over, I think, 70% or close to 70% of all the produce that is grown in America. And so, you know, I guess I didn't realize and took for granted, like, the quality of produce that I was getting at the supermarket because it was stuff that they didn't have to pick early and let ripen on the way to me. It was stuff that could be picked within like a few days of being in the grocery store. And then, you know, we would have a lot of fruit stands where people would just sell fruit on the side of the road, bags of oranges, cherries, apples, like all kinds of stuff, grapes. And that's just something you don't see here. So I'd say that Mexican food and fruit is probably my thing I complain about the most, right, Joel?
Yeah.
I'm always just like, I just miss really good produce. I just love a good, like, package of strawberries. One that isn't absolutely drenched in pesticides.
What you said? Drenched.
Well, because they are. Even when I clean them, they always just still have a really weird taste. I'm just like, and that was my Uncle Dan, that was one of the first things he mentioned when we moved here. He goes, "Did you ever notice that our tomatoes aren't red on the inside?" And he's like, "I remember cutting tomatoes in California and they would be red, but here they're all like light pink, almost white when you cut them."
I thought that was normal.
No, that's I guess what happens when you pick them when they're basically green, and then they ripen on the way to the supermarket. And if they've had a chance to actually ripen, they should be red on the inside.
I think I'm done with them. I think I just...
Let's see. I should let everybody know I don't necessarily miss California. There's a lot of things I did not love about living there, but if you get a chance to go, I do think it is a great place to visit. Alright. Oh, I wonder if he works an overnight shift. He says he
does.
To go.
Troy does, yeah.
Yeah.
See ya, Troy.
Did you see the nasty goblin all done? Hopefully he got to see it. Who has a barnacle face for a face? Joel's weird goblin. That's what it makes me think of. Or like a sea urchin.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I made him about as nasty as I could. My goal was to just get rid of anything that was flat looking.
I would definitely say this is going to be a fun one for your printer.
I know, so I said my printer's going to freak out at me. It's like, what are you doing?
Your printer's going to be like, there is 600 different levels of resin for this. Do you understand that? Are you getting that? Do you know how annoying that is? I'm going to be working on this for 27 hours.
Right. I don't even care if it's supposed to be a 4-hour print. I'm going to take 27 more.
Yeah. Like, that's what you get. Giving him a horn on one side. Usually I only do that on accident. You did it on purpose.
One ear, one horn. Creepy, gross goblin creature.
Give him 2 mouths. It's gonna be like, can't compute. Yeah, like we literally have
Organic greebles.
and we have an organic section that is about 2.5 feet wide.
No, I think greeble is the weird fungus things coming off his face, not...
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I totally would buy organic. We don't
Greebles,
really
yeah.
have that. In addition to not having great produce, we also don't have great quality produce. But you should visit Arkansas. It has beautiful lakes.
So that mouth is so hidden that I was going to say he looks normal in the front, but he doesn't really look normal
He
either.
doesn't. Are you giving like a pupil or anything to the eyeball that's on the side of his head?
You just paint on the pupils.
Okay.
I don't sculpt.
I know what you could add. You could add a scar over his weird eyeball on the side of his face.
Oh, okay, that's true. He could still have a scar just because he has multiple eyes.
I feel like someone tried to blind him with his third eye. He was like,
Not in my house. I have
like,
5 more.
unsuccessful, I'll eat you with my second mouth.
Right.
Then I will process you through my 17 stomachs.
Yeah, I need a fat body for this to go on. Because Nurgle himself is kind of fat and grotesque. That's why I was trying to make his head fat and grotesque.
He says it's like a sea anemone that wanted to be an Escher painting.
C4. Okay, real quick then. Let's see. I needed to do something for Keith.
Keith Richards.
Keith here. He said the smile lines were too noticeable.
Ah, he wants to give it the old wine back.
You have a wine back.
I don't even know what that means, but it's offensive sounding.
Well, it sounded offensive when you said it first.
I said wind
Oh.
back, which means go back in time. Look younger.
No, not that time. He just meant that.
I know, I was just messing
Okay.
with you.
Not laugh lines.
You literally said laugh lines.
Smile lines?
Those are the same thing.
No, smile isn't. His smile line itself, as in, it was like this.
Oh, is smile lines only like around your eyes? I thought it was around your anywhere that like is affected by your smile.
Huh? I said here. The line was too noticeable on his lips. He wanted me to tone it back so that way it wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah, the
So
physical
I don't think
line
you're calling it the right
of mouth line,
word.
whatever.
Mouth? Yeah.
That's the thing that doesn't exist on real humans because your mouth is just a mouth on real humans. And then
Wait, which part? The part that comes out around his nose, or the part that's right here?
right here, he just wanted me to calm it back some, so that way it didn't look like he was still smiling. He wanted it to look more neutral, so he just.
Oh, he's like, I don't want to smile.
We're back at Dinosaur Story. That movie was awful. I'm sorry. I watched it as a kid. I enjoyed it as a
Are you
kid.
talking about the dinosaur one where he like gets separated from his family and then he like ends up with a different herd of dinosaurs during the like when the world is ending? Movie Dinosaur?
No.
Oh, what are you
We're
talking
back at Dinosaur Story. Oh my gosh, did you never watch
Oh, is that animated? I didn't watch that.
that? It was not good.
Wasn't it made by the same people who made like All Dogs Go to Heaven or something? I feel like that was their big selling point.
That it was made by them.
I think
Probably.
so because people were like, "Oh, All Dogs Go to Heaven."
Dimples, yeah, there we go. Yeah, he wanted the dimples gone while he was.
I knew you
not
were saying the
smiling.
wrong word.
You couldn't think of it either, so.
Well, in fairness, I still didn't understand what you were saying.
So I found out that the problem wasn't that the hole wasn't big enough, it's that it was laughingly big, as Anthony called it. So I'm just reeling it back in now. Reeling it back in.
Yeah, I did not ever watch that. I feel like we had a weird amount of movies in the 90s. Like a weird set of like cartoon movies that were not screened by adults, that were weird movies that didn't need to be kid movies.
Yeah. They had a video game for it. It was very hard. It was
Oh,
very,
really?
very hard. A lot of those games. They're both anime. Oh yeah. Technically, Dinosaurs is also.
I know, that one's like CGI. I guess, I'm not sure what you call it when it's the original kind of animation. 2D animation?
Probably. A lot of games in the 90s had no business being as hard as they were, to be perfectly honest.
And early 2000s. My parents got me a Nancy Drew game when I was like 11 or 12 for like the laptop. And I was so excited that I would get to play on a laptop by myself.
And
And
then it
that
was too
game
hard.
was really hard. Like really hard. I got stuck like 7 times. I eventually just gave up. I was getting nowhere in the case. Because they would like make you solve things using different stuff like puzzles and like riddles, and I was just like, am I really dumb or is this game super hard? I want to say it was like 2002. Yeah, like I feel like Rockadoodle was not wildly awesome as a kid's movie.
feel like there was a lot of kids movies that really flirted the line of like, maybe that's not a kids movie.
Right.
Also, like, almost everything that we watched was touched with a touch of horror. Do you realize that? Like, okay, Brave Little Toaster. That was one of my favorite movies when I was growing up. Except there's a part where, like, an air conditioner literally blows up. And it's not that it's an inanimate air conditioner. It had a face. It was talking. And then it explodes. And you're like, well, that's terrifying. Like, every Disney movie had some kind of depressing, introspective death that you're, like, privy to. Like, I don't know. I feel like everything was just touched with, like...
By an angel.
Just a little bit of horror.
Yep. Look what it did to us.
He said Harry Potter CD games, Chamber of Secrets, is only hard when dealing with Aragog. Which I don't remember what that is for sure.
Aragog. I'm not sure. Is that like something that you know about in the books? I've never read the books.
I think it might be the name of the spider. Was that the name of the giant spider?
Gosh, I'm so bad with Harry Potter trivia.
I know,
like it because it's
I
really
like it, and I've seen
fun
it like 3 times. Yeah, 3 times all the way through. But I did not read the books, and that probably would have helped. Apparently, liking Harry Potter is not cool. Like, the new Gen Z people have been like, you guys, you millennials need to stop identifying your Hogwarts houses and loving Harry Potter so much. Like, that's not a personality trait. And I'm like, who even are you?
They're so bossy to us.
They're so bossy.
I'm like, I don't talk to the boomers this way at all. Where do you come off?
I know, like, I would have never, like, told my parents, like, oh, you can't like
you
that
need the
anymore.
bad experience to experience the good. That's true.
I will say, though, everything I feel like that we watched and did and everything came with, like, something that as you're older, you're like, dang, I don't know if I actually want my kids to watch that. Like, how many times did I watch Small Soldiers when I was close to my son's age that I'm now, like, I don't know, though, that I would let my son personally watch Small Soldiers.
Gosh, I kind of want to, especially because that toy store showed that they had some Small Soldiers, and you know I'm going to buy one at
I
least.
like Small Soldiers. I just don't know that I like Small Soldiers for my 8-year-old, even though I'm pretty confident I watched it when I was 9.
I tried hard to watch it. Did you know that Burger King made a bunch of toys for it, and then found out it was PG-13 and had to quickly renege them? Yep.
Yeah, and then I
they were
heard
the
that
coolest
if you could,
toys.
I heard that if you had gotten a chance by the time eBay rolled around, like, people were interested in buying those toys because they had been pulled so quickly that most people didn't get a chance to get them.
Aragog is the spider.
Oh, nice!
You know what we need to watch? Because I don't think you've ever watched it. Starship Troopers.
Is that the one that's supposed to be like a mock of,
It's not supposed to be mock of anything. It's like a 90s movie where they're on, like, these alien planets, and there's, like, these weird, creepy alien spiders. Not spiders at all, but they have, like, weird limbs and heads and stuff.
I like how you're like, they're not spiders. They're just like spiders.
But they're no more alien than spider. I'm just saying that they crawl on the ground.
Ew.
Like, they're huge, though. They're like...
Ugh!
They're not like
Why
a
are you
spider.
not
Just like
making
a
it
Starship
better?
Trooper.
Yeah, Small Soldiers came out in 98, and I was born in 91, which means I was literally Grayson's age when that movie came out. I absolutely did watch Small Soldiers multiple times. And that movie, I would not let my son watch that right now.
I kind of want to let him watch it if he wanted to.
I know. It is technically PG-13. I swear, though, when it first came out, it was PG.
They might have,
I
because...
think they released it under PG, and then somebody threw a thing about being like, this has way too much adult content for PG.
I don't even remember what the adult content would be,
It
just
says
language.
bad words, and it does some, like, kind of, like, sexual innuendo things.
hopefully that'll make Anthony happy, and he should be able to. Or is it tonight-ish? What's wrong with showing an 8-year-old nude military Barbies? Were they nude in it?
I think so. I think that was the thing, is he went in and took all her Barbie dolls and, like, was like, woohoo, let's turn them into soldiers. Like,
Really?
it's been a long time since I watched it, but I do remember rewatching it at, like, 16 and being like, dude, how was I allowed to watch this movie when I was, like, 7? In fairness, though, my parents did not really stick to that, like, ratings rule. I watched the Titanic when I was, like, Grayson's age.
There was boobies in that.
And there was absolutely boobies in that. I'm like, man. And then, like, my dad showed me, like, Deep Blue Sea when I was, like, 9. Do you know how horrifying it is to watch a movie about the ocean and then be offered to be taken to the ocean?
Immediately?
Yeah, like, just, like, months later. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm never swimming ever again. Sharks are horrifying. They will be so smart, and they will kill you, and you will have no chance to live. Pretty sure it's probably lending to some of my, like, slight fears of swimming in oceans and sharks that I have now, because I watched Deep Blue Sea as a much too small child.
That's funny. Alright. I'm tired. It's almost
Me
10.
too. I'm exhausted.
It
I'm
was,
exhausted from talking so much.
you know you love it.
I know. It's because I don't get to socialize.
It's definitely your social bit. YouTube has gotten so far behind, at least according to this, it looks like.
It had started to really lag. It was originally only like 7. I know, Blake. I watch like Shark Week, and like I feel for sharks because I know that they get a bad rap. But like also honestly, I'm really scared to swim in oceans. Like, it's not even that I'm just like, oh, sharks are evil. I just know they can bite you. And I just don't want to have to risk it.
And they can rip your arm off.
Yeah. Because people are like, oh, sharks don't really like the taste of humans. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like they realize that after they already bit your leg off and you bleed to death, that they're like, oh, I didn't even want to eat that. It's like if you accidentally picked up like a vegan taco instead of a regular taco and you're like, oh shoot, I already took a bite though, so I can't take it back.
Right.
Like, that's sharks. They're like, oh crap, I thought you were a fish. I didn't even want to eat you. Now you're bleeding to death. How unfortunate.
I just now realized this could have been the smile lines he was talking about.
That's what I was talking about, was around his nose. I was like, are you sure he's not talking about like his nose ones that go into his cheeks?
Ouch. Damn. Ow. Okay. Anyway. Oh, I kind of forgot I was live. My wife kind of just got... Were you still talking, wife? Were you looking at something?
I've been eating this truffle for like at least 5 seconds. 5 to 7
You said they're
seconds.
peaceful and misunderstood.
Right, that's why I said, oh, I know they get a bad rap. It's just unfortunately, if they bite you over an artery, you're probably just still going to die, even if they didn't mean to eat you because they thought you were a fish.
Yeah, right? I didn't mean to eat you, but you're dead anyway.
Right. Like, I'm not saying they're, like, malicious. It's just they bite you so
But
good.
they are delicious.
Yeah. They bite you so good that, like, you still have a really good chance of dying if they bite you because they're really good at severing arteries.
Right. Alright, well, we're not enough. This was a way long one. Oh,
Yeah.
Man, I didn't plan to take this long to make ahead, but hey, at least I think
It looks
this
super
one...
cool.
I think this one's finished. I'm going to just call it finished. I'm going to merge it all together and maybe re-angle the head, maybe elongate out a little bit further. I don't know. It's probably fine. I just got to... I'll work on some of the kinks or whatever on it or after the fact. But anyway, like, subscribe. Most of you who are still here and the 2 viewers are probably already liked and subscribed. see you later, folks. Tomorrow then should be another goblin head, and I'm trying to remember. I thought I had this idea for a fifth one, but maybe I did not. Maybe I was just simply going to do that Aswang character or whatever.
I only know
So
about 3 you mentioned.
yeah, so
But
then
I'm
I
not
have a
in
new
it,
one.
so.
I have a new one that I saw this weird creature for, and I'm gonna jump off that idea and make it a goblin style head. And so that
Alright.
makes 4, but then the Aswang or whatever, or maybe I just keep it at 4. I don't know.
We'll see. Play by
We'll
ear.
see how it goes. Anyway, later.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good one.